Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check out their locations in the Bay Area, or you go to nestbedding.com for your bed, your mattress, your pillows, all your bedding needs. You go to nestbedding.com. Mark Kotsay, how are you there in Canada?
It's a great day. It's a new day. As you can see, the Canadian flag's in the background,
Yeah.
and they've made some changes to the ballpark, which we've gone out and looked at, and we got early hitting starting here in about 2 minutes. So all is well.
Now, when you think about the changes, it was already a place to hit home runs. I know they brought the fences in. Just how different is it there at Rogers Center?
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, first game tonight in this new kind of venue, even though it's the old venue. So I know they've made changes aesthetically to the bullpen, obviously to the outfield, the bleachers behind the fence. It'll be interesting to see. I would assume the ball is going to carry the same, which if the fences being brought in would probably play a little bit more to the offensive side.
Yeah, well, the one good thing going into this series, no question for your ball club, is the fact that, man, your pitching has completely changed. What have you seen from your starters to your bullpen? You're getting far better efforts from your pitching staff.
Yeah, we really are, and it's unfortunate these last 6, 7, 8 games, we haven't been able to capitalize and win during this stretch. The pitching has really given us an opportunity, from the starting 5 that have gone out there, getting it deeper into games. We've used the opener a few times, which, Medina and Harris have both benefited from, and really the conversation comes down to offensively, doing more to add on during the course of the game. And we've lost, what did we lose? 5 consecutive 6-run or 1-run games. And really in those games, you look at the mistakes that we've made, the opportunities that we've left out there. Really, it could be a completely different outcome if we start really, taking care of the small details.
How frustrating is that to go from winning 7 in a row to now the losing streak you're on? It's the highs and lows seem to be so dramatic.
They have been, but Townie, the thing that we continue to focus on is where we've come from. April was just a really, really, really bad month. May we got 1 game better. June we got off, like you said, to a great start. We won 7 consecutive games. So, it's in there. But the consistency is really what we need from the offense. And, I think that would allow us, it's tough when the bullpen comes in and they're trying to secure a 1-run lead. The majority of the time, it would be nicer to give them some cushion, to allow them to make a mistake where it doesn't penalize us and cost us games. But it has been a season of ups and downs. And, but again, we still have that message of time is our ally to change the narrative.
Well, you changed the narrative with the staff, and you got to give Scott Emerson a lot of credit. And let's just go through some of the guys. I mean, with the last 2 outings you've seen from J.P. Sears, both times he's gone 7 innings. You've allowed him to stay out there. You've allowed him to go over 100 pitches. Talk about the confidence you're gaining with this left-hander.
Yeah, for J.P., again, you look at where he was at the end of last season, coming into spring training, the expectation level was still that he would be in the rotation. And, April was a tough month for him. He got beat up pretty well. He had to make changes to, how he pitches at this level. He was a big carry guy, 4-seam guy at the top of the zone, and he was giving up, quite a few home runs early on. And we've kind of brought something into his game where he's now more lower third. He understands the importance of spotting a fastball down and away and what it can do for him, and the power of the changeup. And, Scott Emerson's been a component of the changeup for a long, long time in this organization. He believes in it. He teaches it. We got away from it a little bit, and maybe in development side in the minor leagues. We're going back to it. And I think you're seeing the success of it, especially with JP.
What is the main change in James Kaprielian from all the time you have known him, and especially the last 2 times that he's gone back down to Las Vegas, to where he is today?
Well, I think, Townie, you can look at execution, pitch execution, game plan. The slider definitely does get more swing and miss right now. The fastball doesn't have the velocity that it had. So now he's focusing more on execution. And I think he's finding out that you can still pitch in this league at 91 to 93 if you don't leave, the fastball on the thirds. If you can paint on the edges and mix your changeup in as well, that there's success there. And nobody better than to look at than a guy like Kyle Hendricks with the Cubs. He pitches at 86 to 88, and yet he goes out and posts, I think he had at one point this season 23 scoreless innings. So really the execution and the change of speeds, I think, for James has been of importance and a bit of growth in that area.
Yeah, focusing on the pitching, because really the pitching has been good. And I think of a guy like Medina, when I watch him and I see it's a God-given ability to throw the baseball. He does, and he's very athletic. So it's almost like I don't worry so much about the numbers because I look at what he's got, and he's got the potential to be something special. He's another one that, in the second half, I'm really curious to see how he turns it around.
Yeah, going into the second half, we do have to take notice that none of these guys that we've just mentioned, we haven't even mentioned Hogan Harris, who's been exceptional as well since he's returned. But for Harris, for Medina, for Sears, even Waldichuk in his role, they haven't experienced a season at the major league level, and the grind that's coming, that's ahead of them in August and in September when they're going to, reach uncharted waters for them. That they haven't thrown 150 innings at any point in their career. So managing that workload is one thing that we're going to stay focused on, but also, continuing to try to set these guys up for success. Medina, the last outing for Medina was great. We brought him in behind Waldichuk, and that combination gave us basically 6 full innings of one-run baseball. And I think that we're doing things creatively, which we had to based on the success that we weren't having, and getting these guys into these right roles and these right situations to build confidence really going into the second half.
I know a lot of people are frustrated with the offense right now, but I want to highlight one guy that has really turned it around, and I think it's good for the clubhouse. It's good for everybody. Talk about what you've seen with Tony Kemp.
Yeah, TK, it's no secret what he's gone through this season. I think he felt the full load of expectations put on him coming out of the gate, and it just didn't go well. And it's not for a lack of work. Everyone knows that, or lack of desire. Or, it's almost to the point where he was trying just too hard. And, he didn't bury his head. He didn't pout. He came in as a pro. He worked every day, waited for that opportunity. We found the right time to put him back into the lineup and give him the best chance for success. And he's taken to it. And it's no secret that we needed that from TK. And it's great to have him back in this lineup. And actually tonight against one of his former teammates, Chris Bassitt, he'll be leading off.
Yeah, that's something over the weekend. You're going to see a couple ex-A's. How's that going to be? Of course, Matt Chapman over at third base.
It's always fun to see these guys. They grew up in this organization. Chris Bassitt, if you want to look at an example for our young starters, came a long way. I think from 2016 to where he got in 2020 with us. And, that's something to look forward to. And, we'll go up against him tonight. It'll be great to watch him compete. He's the ultimate competitor, and we're going to try to do some things to him tonight to disrupt that rhythm and get him out of his game.
Now, we've talked before, and Tony Kemp was one of the guys we talked about when you look at veteran guys starting to struggle and then have a long struggle. How about young guys? How about a guy like Langoliers? What do you do for a young player? You remember what it was like to be a young player. We've talked about it. What do you try and do for the young players to get them going again?
Yeah, in his particular situation, it's just working through these struggles and trying to keep him confident and understanding, on my end that he's got my support, that we're here, we're going to keep working, to make these necessary adjustments to bring more success offensively. I think on the defensive side, this kid's grown up so much. The game planning's better, the pitch calling's better, the sequencing's better. So we've seen the growth on the defensive side, and this is the toughest position in the big leagues to really come up here and have immediate impact, immediate success. And For Shea, it's going to continue to be a grind for him to make these adjustments and offensively, get to where we believe he can get and where he wants to be. He's never really struggled at this point at any length of time in his career, and he's going through it right now. So the message is, hey, we're going to stick with you, we're going to grind with you, and we're going to keep working.
It's always that easier said than done. It's easy for us, after a game to go, you know what, if you're not hitting, still just concentrate on your defense. It's about still playing defense. It seems like it's easy to say. How hard is that when you are struggling to say, yes, I still need to concentrate on my defense, even though the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders when you're not hitting?
Yeah, no, it does, and I think, we're trying to give him, the best chances to have success. And, he's a competitor. And so at any point, I think the mindset for him is, you come to this field every day knowing there's new opportunity, and you're going to get a new chance to go out and have success. And, I think he has the right mentality to get through this. And I get that it's difficult when you're struggling offensively to really hone in sometimes, but I don't see that from Shea at all.
When I think about hitting with runners in scoring position, it's almost like surfing, right? There's at some point, here comes a set of great waves, and then they kind of disappear, and then here comes a set again. It's never really consistency, or I should say consistent throughout a season. How's that something you work on? How do you get better at it? How do you turn around hitting with runners in scoring position?
Yeah, I think, as a group, they're working on their, mindset, and it's really a fighting type of mindset that you have to make a commitment to, not thinking about hitting a homer, just thinking about putting the ball in play and taking the right approach for each at bat. We talk a lot about approach. It changes. It can change pitch to pitch in the at bat. If you got a kid like Ruiz on first base and now he's on second with nobody out, if Noda's behind him, now the goal is to get him to third base. And sometimes he gets to third base on his own, and now the whole at bat changes to I got to get him in. And those type of situations for young players, slowing the game down and understanding that, hey, pitch to pitch, we've got to change our approach. We've got to change what we're looking for. So we're going to continue that message. I think the biggest thing for these guys, collectively is just seeing that competitive mindset and that competitive approach in the right way to be successful with these runners in scoring position.
Well, I keep saying it. I think it's good for the young players to see great competition. You got the Blue Jays. Then you're going to come home, have the day off on Monday, and then you got the New York Yankees. So the next time we'll talk to you will be next Friday against the Chicago White Sox. But let's just end on this. When you look at for young players, seeing good teams, what does that mean for them to play against them, to watch them, and to learn from them?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us. We went through the Braves, we went through the Pirates and the Brewers at a time when both those teams were contending for first place in the Central Division. We know we can compete. We have to do things. And again, I send this message constantly is taking care of the details and the fundamentals and not giving away outs on bases and not giving away the outs, when we're on defense. To compete against these really good teams, the margin of error is minimal. And we understand that. We've got to go out and play a good baseball game. And I think that we can still have this opportunity to win games against the elite teams. And you watch these teams and their approaches and how they handle, hitting with runners in scoring position and moving runners over and then the small details to the game. And there's no question that, in watching that, we can learn from it. But we also know that we can compete with these guys.
Well, keep grinding, enjoy Canada, and next thing you know, we'll be back home taking on the New York Yankees at the Coliseum. Be well, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
It's the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check out their locations in the Bay Area for your mattress, for your pillows, your sheets, all your bedding needs. You go to one of their stores or go to nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com, the proud sponsor of the Mark Kotsay Show.